I used to run the rat race from the Jersey coast into Newark. I'd race my Jeep into the commuter lot, slam over the curb, into an empty slot, and sprint to a moving train, briefcase flying. In Newark, outside Penn Station, a bagged lady sat on the sidewalk, her back to the wall, arguing loudly with no one. I'd hurried past, scarcely suppressing the urge to take her on. After 31 years of fencing with insurance salesmen, I resolved to stow the office job and put to sea like Ishmael. Well, welcome to Conway Lake. We've been here for about 30 years now, actually, and I can't think of a place I'd rather be. 10 or 20 years ago, I wrote a short story for a boating magazine, and other than that, most of my writing's been confined to business writing. You know, I was an underwriter, and that involves a certain amount of writing, but it's quite different. Well, sailing around the world was a lifelong dream. As long as I can remember, I wanted to do it. But I wasn't planning to write a book about it. But before I left, my son gave me a beautiful leather-bound diary to take with me. And so I said, well, you know, I need to make a record of this. And rather than write in his beautiful volume, I started writing in notebooks, and pretty soon the project took on a life of its own, and some of the things I wrote got into the website, and one of them got published in the newspaper in Nova Scotia. And by the time I got back, I had quite a bit done, and sat down here at my desk and transcribed it onto the computer, and that's really the genesis of my first book.
So what do you find most challenging in the writing process?
Getting started. Yeah, finding the time, and then getting started.
Do you prefer writing on a computer or with a pen or pencil?
I always start with a pen or a pencil and migrate to a computer. That's, I'm just kind of an old-fashioned guy, but works for me.
Do you prefer to write in the morning or the afternoon?
I like to get up at dark 100 and get something done while the world sleeps.
What about during a particular season?
Well, winter is better for writing. You know, you're indoors more. There's less distraction, I think. You know, you want to be outside in the summer and the fall.
What's your favorite place to write?
Right here, with my face to the wall and my back to the window. Yeah, I thought about putting my desk over there by the window, but then I wouldn't get anything done.
What's your pre-writing process like? Do you brainstorm or outline, or?
I take a pile of notes and try to organize them. That's really what I do.
Is that what you did on your trip as well?
Well, on my trip, I would journal once every few days or a week or so. And also, emails would be source material for the book.
So what makes your book different from other books in the same genre?
Well, let's see. It's written from the perspective of an older guy. A lot of books are written by young men who go to sea, and they're fine, and 2 years before the mast, that sort of thing. I was one of the oldest people on this expedition, and I just have a different take on it.
What are some of your favorite authors or poets? Oh,
geez. Well, fiction would be Jack London, one of my favorite. Seawolf is one of my all-time favorite novels. Herman Melville, of course. I loved Billy Budd and Moby Dick, of course. And nonfiction, Sebastian Junger, The Perfect Storm, and others. And John Krakauer, excellent writer. And I like the books he writes, adventure stories. Poets are Robert Service is one of my favorite poets. He wrote, as you know, the cremation of Sam McGee and the shooting of Dan McGrew and many, many other just wonderful poems. And of course, Robert Burns is definitely a favorite.
So how long do you spend editing your writing?
It never ends. Your first draft is your worst draft. And I've edited my book many, many times over a long period of time, and it just gets better. So more is better.
So tell us a little more about yourself. What do you like doing in your free time? And
well, in the winter, I ski downhill and cross country. Lately, I've been doing some hiking and snowshoeing. Summertime, I like to sail and hike and swim. And I've got actually 9 boats. I have a Friendship sloop, which I moor over in the coast of Maine. It's a classic New England sailboat, which requires quite a bit of maintenance and a good deal of my time. And I also do a lot of community service work.
what's the best piece of advice you could give about writing or life in general?
You know, it's the same for writing as it is for life. And it all comes down to one word: perseverance.
Are you working on any other writing projects right now?
Well, that's a tough question. I sort of am. I have an idea for a book, and I've got tons of notes, and I don't know if it'll ever come to fruition. But it's a work of political philosophy, which is a favorite topic of mine, and I think I have some unusual and unique ideas in the matter. So.